and present. The elders, and we extend respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us here today. We recognise their continuing connection to the land, waters, and culture, and we acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceased. Welcome to the 8th International Webinar on Construction Materials. I'm Sofiane, and I'm honoured to be your host for this exciting, informative event. On behalf of the organising committee, I extend a warm welcome to all our distinguishing speakers, industry professionals, researchers, students, and guests from all around the world. We're thrilled to have you join us, whether you're tuning in from your office, lab, classroom, or the comfort of your home. This year's theme, Artificial Intelligence in Construction Management and Smart Automation in Materials Handling, reflects the global shift towards a smarter, more resilient, and environmentally conscious building solutions. Over the next 2 hours, we will explore groundbreaking research, real-world applications, and emerging technologies that are shaping the future of our construction industry. Before we begin, a few housekeeping notes. Each session will be followed by a live Q&A, so please type your questions into the chat box as they arise. All sessions are being recorded, and that will be made available to all registered participants. Now, without further ado, let's kick off the 8th International Webinar on Construction Materials. All right. So, up first, we have Emmanuel Bentil, and he will be looking at the use of AI for instant quoting, helping small construction businesses. Please, Emmanuel.
Hi, good morning. My name is Emmanuel Bentil. So I'll be looking at leveraging artificial intelligence for cost estimation for small construction businesses. I'm going to share my screen and then I'll proceed. Let me know if in case you can see my screen. Can you all please see my screen?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so basically when we talk about estimating costs for construction business, we all know that there are a lot of challenges and gaps regarding manual quoting and also estimating for construction businesses. And that creates a lot of gaps and issues when a customer requires you to do a survey at the site to produce accurate quoting, and at the end of the day, there's some gaps regarding the cost, and also in terms of the project, it's not aligned with the cost. You need to also take factor of how you going to retrieve the data after, at the end of the day, you need to also have inventory, your stock taking, and all the necessary a huge gap. So we decided to look at artificial intelligence technology to help quoting accurately, faster, and to also build on a database that you can retrieve and to be stored as a large data. That artificial intelligence can learn from the past records, so that in the future, if there are new construction evolution or paradigm shift, this large data that has been stored by the artificial intelligence can guide you through quoting. So the project is to integrate it with Traders Market with the Icon Smart site built on WordPress with artificial intelligence to allow easy query of responses from the client. So as I said, small construction business face manual cost estimating, inaccuracy, and it's also not efficient by Hassan Zadeh et al. 2022. And AI offers automated data-driven solutions for faster and more reliable cost estimation. So the research explored an artificial intelligence tool with the machine learning capabilities to as a paradigm shift to manual coding and other technologies that does require artificial intelligence. So the problem statement is that manual methods leads to high error margins, especially if you have to deal with, you need to do a survey, you need to also consider expert engineers that also need to be involved. At the same time, if there are new methodologies that requires to improve or in terms of project management, in terms of and there's scope creep, and that happens a lot. If you don't do proper or accurate quoting, at the end of the day, the customer may come up and then give you new activity that may impact what has already been quoted. And that also impacts because you need to cost for the new project that has been considering into the past project. So there's a limited adoption of digital tools among small construction businesses. So the objectives of the research is to develop an AI-based cost estimation model and integrate with the Icon Smart platform, which will be built on the WordPress, and then also evaluate the effectiveness in the terms of accuracy, speed, and user adoption. So in this case, we did a few survey, and then we gathered some data. The data that we gathered, I'll show you as we move on. So the literature review from the past papers that I read about, AI improved forecasting accuracy by Hassan Zadeh et al. 2022. And then also time efficiency and automation reduce overhead by Duta and Real 2020. And then also digital competence and trust influence tech adoption by Alabi and Mahamadou 2021. Right. So aside the artificial intelligence, I also chance on reading further to Internet of Things, which also helps in building with the artificial intelligence as a future research. During the literature review, the Internet of Things help with an instant quoting as well by giving you a cloud-based integration into the platform to allow a size survey, so where you have a small gadget or digital device that you can punch in all the measurements and all the materials that have been identified during the estimation and can easily be fed into a data set, and then through a telemetry, you'll be able to analyze the AI will give you an instant quote based on the information that have been fed. So the methodology is to design science research approach and do a survey for 6 small construction business professionals, develop a WordPress-based prototype, and then deployed and evaluate over 3 weeks. So 65% use spreadsheet and manual notes, 48% had cost deviations, and the key issues, material prices changes, which is lack of data by Trans et al. So the AI to error margins helps reduce by 6.8% versus the 13.2%. And then estimation time, 6 minutes against 27 minutes. 80% rated to as easy to use by Istalo et al. From the past post-implementation results. So the user feedback and SWOT summary. So the strength is there has been an accuracy and speed usability in terms of artificial intelligence. In terms of weakness, you need to depend on internet. If I'm doing manual coding, I don't need internet. All I need is have a manual book or paper, and measuring tool, and also an expert that will guide me according to the site resources or the client requirement. So the opportunities is also looking at the mobile app, regional pricing. With the mobile app, that is where the IoTs also come under it. If I have an handheld device, like a mobile device, I don't need to carry a laptop by visiting the site and typing it. At the same time, I don't need to also launch the website in order to visit the traders market to perform the quoting. If there is a mobile app, you can just launch the app as Icon Smart, and you select the category, and you select based on the customer or client requirement, and then you provide the necessary data. It will be feed into the database, and you can receive an instant quoting. So in terms of the trade, digital illiteracy, data trust, when you're talking about digital illiteracy, it takes time, because if you usually do manual quoting, you've done a lot of work around it. You've improved and advanced on how to do your best with the manual quoting. Now you are moving to digital illiteracy. Sometimes an internet interruption can also make you confused, wondering what is happening. And you may also fall back to an expert to assist you or guide you with that. If you have a huge client that you're required to give an instant quoting, and you have some internet interruption which you have no idea, or for some reason the app is also giving you some issues, it also impacts. But however, it all requires involving stakeholders and then giving them an understanding of how the platform works. Manual or process or procedure of how to work around the two is also mitigation against digital illiteracy. For data trust, yeah, how can I trust my data? Well, where is it going? Who can see my data? If I feed into the database, how am I sure that if I have found an opportunity from a client and I have given an estimated quote for my proposal to the customer, who has access to the proposal or my budget? And so this is also part of the data trust. In terms of security, how do I ensure that if there is a data breach of the system, I can retrieve my data back? And this is where you also look at the database, data warehouse, or distributed database system, where Icon Smart platform need to have a fault tolerance database system that can allow fault tolerance and redundancy of database or servers. If in case one server goes down, the other can also be up, which you can call it N+1 for redundancy, and to also ensure there's sort of an XDR, that is extended detection and response solution, that is being installed either on the platform, the operating system set. So for instance, if in terms of the platform, the operating system is also not protected to support the database and all those attacks that may be infiltrate into the system hosting the application. So one is to build a distributed database system to support fault tolerance, redundancy of So you can also build with Redis database, which acts as a middleman in between the end user and the application to support cache system, so that you can promote faster query of the application and all that. So the SDR is also an autonomous artificial intelligence that allow visibility of all sort of attacks that may come through the system. So if there is any ransomware attacks, for instance, you can also make sure that. And as well, you can also talk about backup system, ensuring that there is a regular backup and an RPO, which is recovery point objective, or recovery time objective, is also at a minimal level, even if it can be a real-time zero timelines. That can also be a good deal to improve data trust from our client. So I'll speed up from this side. Talking about the business side, this is a survey that we did from sales responses. In terms of the business size, 1 up to 5 employees, 6 to 20 employees, and the medium side, we have 21 to 50 employees, and large, 51. So among the responses we had for micro and how for medium, and out of the medium, we got 66.7%, and then for for micro, we got 66.7, and for medium, we had 33.3%. So in terms of number of years in operation, we have less than 1 year, 1 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, more than 10 years. 50% of it for the 1 to 5 years, 16.7% for more than 10 years, and 33.3% for less than 1 year. Types of services provided. We had for general construction, plumbing, electrical work, roofing, tiling and flooring, painting, and then landscaping. As I said, I'll move faster so that I can be in time. How do you currently estimate project cost? In terms of manual calculations, it takes lead among the estimation software and AI-powered tools. How satisfied are you with your current cost estimation method? So from the responses, we had for giving us about 66.7% of it. And what are the biggest challenges you face in cost estimation? So one is inflation of prices, that is in Ghana, for instance. Someone also gave some generic data, variation and thoughts about client accuracy and precision in delivery, time consuming, data entry, sum up, and time consuming. So I'll move on. I've already spoken about time consuming and as one of the challenges. Data entry is all under data illiteracy. How often do inaccurate cost estimates affect your project outcomes? So 83.3%, that is for occasionally, and 16.7%, that is never. Are you aware of AI-powered cost estimation tools? Yes and no. So you have 83.3% for yes, and then no for 16.7%. And have you ever used an AI-based cost estimation tool? That is for yes and no. We have the 66.7% for no, and 33.3% for yes. So it's a consistent from the previous questions. Okay, so move on. What features would you find most useful in an AI-powered cost estimation tool? And we have the real-time material pricing integration, labor cost prediction, automated quotation generation, historical data analysis, supplier and contractor recommendations. All right. So it seems real-time material price integration took the lead of, yeah, at the end of the day, you want to have a real-time pricing integration. Would you be willing to adopt an AI-based powered cost estimation tool if it improves efficiency? 83.3% is yes, and then maybe 16.7%. What potential barriers might preventing you from adopting an AI tool? High cost. With a manual, you don't pay anything to anyone. You just carry your diary or your estimation book, and then you construct what you'll be expecting, and that's it. But for AI tool, you need to pay because the platform that you're using need to employ software engineer, security and systems, network, all together to improve and manage the system. So you need to pay for the service. Lack of technical knowledge, resistance to new technology, lack of trust in AI generated estimates. So the discussion around is AI meets small construction business needs for efficiency and terms of professionalism, positive impact on competitiveness, and two aligned with existing literature on AI in construction by Alabai and Mohammadou in 2021. So recommendation is to scale to regionally, develop mobile version of it. However, the mobile version may be ideal because if on WhatsApp platform, there's an AI to allow you to put in some small query to give you responses on that. I believe then with the AI, too much easier to develop a mobile version of it, and giving training models and also assist with the integration of ERP or CRM project tools. If you meet a client who has a system that requires you to push or feed into their system so that they can also make query of the data that has been sent to you as the project developer. Right. So I'll end here and then open for questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Does anyone have any questions?
If I may ask, is it okay? Thank you so much, Emmanuel. It was brilliant to have this amount of information, especially the survey results would determine a lot of the future about this project. But I had a few questions about the security measures that you have mentioned. It was because I'm pretty sure you're coming from a cybersecurity background. I just want to learn more from you. That when we said we should have a backup system and a backup server, would it be something that would be viable and feasible for small construction businesses to invest on? Like, I was just thinking that maybe a beta version for that platform would be enough for the beginning. Then, if the clients, customers started to grow, and like, is there any plan for a backup system, or is it just a suggestion?
So for small construction, the platform is being hosted by a service provider, and which is being outsourced to, for instance, if it's being hosted by Icon Smart. If we are dealing with small construction business, it means that we can have more customers that will be using the platform. At the end of the day, if you're targeting about 50 construction business, even if it's small construction business, the platform become large. And as a matter of fact, a backup system will be necessary. If it has to be a standalone system for a construction business, that is where you might consider doing on the OS level of backup or a backup of the database system where you can store it on a drive and then you take it up or you intentionally schedule yourself to do a backup to disk or to attach storage to a shared location. But if it's a shared platform, then a backup, it means that if we have to consider a small construction business, then we rather defeat the purpose of having the database in a central location. And as a matter of fact, the backup will need to be considered.
Thank you. Yeah. That's definitely something to plan for. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry. Any more questions? Hi, Bogan.
I'm concerned about security, and in my opinion, as a technology guy, I'm an inventor, and I understand a lot of industries and backgrounds. So the problem is you have to feed in information for AI to be able to assess everything. So, for example, size you need zip ties for electrical cabling or something in your quoting. AI must be informed about that and must know the plans. So, how would you provide information for AI to be accurate and make sure it's safe?
Right. So on the security side, so I'll respond in two ways. So on the security side, as in the AI, if the platform, for instance, there's I mentioned extended detection and response solution as being installed on the servers of where it's hosting the database and the application servers. Now, let me talk a brief about the extended detection and response. The extended detection and response has a static AI, lateral movement, behavioral indicators, and document and scripts. All are built with artificial intelligence to learn all the large data that is being fed into the database system. So now, if there is any infiltration of the AI tool that is being built as web application, the extended detection response has the capability to learn that sort of attacks that may come in and has a way of filtering to understand which one may impose threat to the system or the data. So on the AI tool on the application side, it also AI doesn't we don't actually have the capacity to develop an AI, right? So you rather do an integration with an API into the WordPress system. So it's a plugins that you integrated. So it means that the AI tool that it may also and check from time to time. And as a matter of fact, if you have that SDL installed, it has the capability to give you the vulnerabilities of the AI plugins that has been integrated, and you can remediate it by working on some maintenance or patching it with the latest model or the stable version to improve security. Have I answered your question, Mr. Madrick?
Thank you for that.
Right, thank you. Any question or any contribution?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you
Much
so much.
appreciated for listening to me.
All right, so we'll go on to the next speaker now. I have Lu Hyun, and she will be discussing her self-heating food packages for remote construction projects. Over to you, Lu.
Hello, everyone. Before started, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen? Everything look good? Yeah. So, welcome to my presentation. Before starting, I would like to thank for the host for introducing me, and thank to Farid who organizing the webinar this year, as well as encouraged me to do the research, so I have the chance to share my idea with everyone here. Thank you so much. My research is quite simple, even for someone beginner to the construction industry to understand, because in my background isn't strongly relevant to the industry. I was study about food science and technology. What I'm caring is about the nutrition and its effect on mental well-being, healthy, and also improving the quality of the food which is input in the human body. There's a story behind of my research. 2 years ago, when I went to Australia and worked in the hospitality industry in the very regional area there, where most of the customer are construction worker. And throughout the time working there, from my observation, almost the customer who is construction worker, they tend to consume fizzy drinks, fast food, or some procedures food to keep their day going, or to keep their meal. They didn't have the probably meal for providing enough nutrition. As everyone know that the physically works, especially in construction field, are need proper meal, provide enough nutrition for their body, not only for the health but also for the care about mental well-being. The question of my thoughts was there were any method to help out in the lack of electricity condition for the construction site. The research is explore how nutrition choices affect to the mental well-being, and suggest the solution to enhance food quality for construction worker, which is heating food package. To understand the necessary of this research, it's worthwhile to first identify the problem related to the nutrition and mental well-being. When understood, the next stage will explain why heating food package can solve the problem, and also answer all the question pointed out here, which is what is the worker behavior of consuming food. Does one food help maintain a healthy lifestyle for construction worker? What we need for the health heating food package, what chemical they are using in the heating food bag, how much temperature they can raise up to, or how long can it stay. As mentioned at the beginning, the consuming fizzy drinks is becoming construction worker behavior due to their ability and temperature energizing effects. Excessive consumption leads to dehydration, increased sugar intake, and unstable blood sugar level. It also causes of the addiction. In the country, it contributes to fatigue, irritability, and decreased concentration, ultimately affecting mental performance, workplace safety. This is the most important thing they need to need to do when they work in contraction site, and also cause diabetes in long term. Normally, to warm up the food, we use microwave pretty commonly for every kitchen in your house. But in some study suggests that microwave cooking can alter the nutritional composition of the food, reducing essential vitamins and minerals. Plus, in the most construction site in very remote area are also absent of electricity. The workers' exposure under the sun increase the risk of dehydration and electrolyte imbalance. The construction worker, of course, they require diet rich in the electrolytes, hydration, supporting foods, and antioxidants to combat with oxidative stress caused by UV radiation. The food, which is rich in vitamin C, omega-3 fatty acids, and potassium, can help maintain mental clarity and reduce fatigue. For construction workers, consuming warming food will help maintain body temperatures, provide comfort in extreme weather conditions, and boost morale, reduce stress, and promoting relaxation. Warm meal also aid the digestion, ensuring better nutrition absorption, which support the brain function and energy level. The research also pointed out that warm food consumption lower cortisol level, which is the body's primary stress hormone, almost the emotion stress caused by that hormone, thereby reducing mental fatigue and enhancing cognitive function. For construction workers who ensure physically and mentally demanding conditions, access to warm meals can play a vital role in sustaining the resilience's emotional well-being and overall workplace productivity. With all the under condition listed above, it's necessary to find out the solution that has all the convenience such as portability, nutrition retention, and also required minimal effort to warm up the food in the breaking time instead of using microwave. Here we have the heating food packaging. The cell heating food package is rely on the exothermic reaction. This research use calcium oxide, commonly known as quicklime, mixed with water, producing calcium hydroxide and releasing significant heat. Now the question are how much the CaO do I need to use for the reaction? How many degrees is could generated? And how long will it stay? Let me get you through the experiment to find out the answer for the question. But before that, it's important to understand the basic cooking time and temperature required for a range of food ingredients. In this table, is represents for 100 grams per ingredients, and the cooking method is for reference is boiling or steaming. I have listed out here some very common ingredient which is cover almost of the meal for your daily, such as noodle, egg, rice, pork, beef, chicken, or potato, and the minimum temperature required is 75 degrees. Move to the next page. You see the step-by-step from my experiment setup. For the first step, I wait 100 grams of water at ambient temperature about 25 to 26 degrees. The next step, I will wait the portion of calcium oxide from 10% to 60%. After portioning the ingredient, I'll pouring the amount of water into each CIO portion, stirring probably the mix, and start observing and recording in 30 minutes. And here is the results. It can be observed that as the portion of CEO increases, the maximum of temperature increases. The minimum required for cooking a meal is 75 degrees, which has been achieved only for the CIO percentage of 50% and above. In the last mix, I had added 6.5 grams of oil in an attempt to sustain the high temperature for longer period of time, as oil doesn't evaporate at above 90 degrees. So the result of the last mix had been collected up to 99 degrees. The addition of the oil to the mix has slowed down the heating regime, perhaps to having oil acting as a barrier between CIO and water molecule. The mixes with 40%, 50%, and 60% of CIO could have the temperature above 55 degree for over than 10 minutes. You can observe it in here. In the conclusion, poor dietary choices such as excessive consumption of fizzy drink or processed food can lead to dehydration, fatigue, and cognitive decline. Warm meals play a crucial role in improving digestion, nutrient absorption, and mood regulation. This study found that calcium oxide based of self-heating package can effectively generate the necessary heat for meal warming in with the mix containing 50% or more calcium oxide, reaching and sustaining temperature above 75 degrees. However, to maintaining the high temperature for longer duration remain a challenge. Therefore, it leads to another thing that could be considered when procedure a package for self-heating food is safety at the high temperature. As you can see that it can lead up to 99 Celsius degree. The package could be applied for construction workers or in some situation that absent of electricity, such as camps in the camping sites, or surviving in the jungle, or it can use for the army. That's my presentation about the research of self-heating food package. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Do you have any question or contribution for me? Please let me know.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Thank you so much. It was brilliant to know much about self-heating food packages. I personally didn't know that something like this exists. But question was that what's the future of this research study? What are the next steps?
Well, as a suggestion I have mentioned too, in the next future, is the further research should be about the package of the how could I pack the consumption, and how could they for the package make it safety for using, and they when the procedures for the package, it's easy to use for everyone, and the safety instruction as well.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other question, please?
I might just ask a question, or more just like with, I guess when you're saying like with the very remote places in like Australia, for example, when you're working on site there, and that's what you were saying was like the concern of like having a warm meal and stuff like that. My only thing is like, as someone who's worked in construction, especially if it's like on a more remote site, usually you find that they'll put up some kind of temporary kitchen or space where you have access to things like a kettle or a microwave. I think it's very rare that you'd be sort of really far away, so like from anything at all. So like in terms of just like how would it appeal to me as a worker to have something like that when that takes a lot of time to heat, as opposed to just going to a local, like you said, cafe or something like that, or not bringing my own pre-made food with me, because do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand your situation is in the remote area. They do have some container or the accommodation, like basic accommodation for the workers to stay in there. But in some situation or in some condition, they and the limited break time. So not only for the construction worker, as I have mentioned at the end of my presentation, it can apply for some situation in campsite. Some of the campsite, they don't have the barbecue station or electric to warm up the things, and also apply for the survival. In some situation, they don't have the enough equipment like gas stove or fire to warm up the thing or cooking. It doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take much time to warm up the food. For some construction worker, they might have their meal being repaired. They just need to warm it up. They don't need to come back to their accommodation. And it to reach up to the 75-degree, it take less than 10 minutes, as I show in the my presentation. Let me.
So once it reaches that in the 10 minutes, then you're saying it's cooked in 10 minutes?
It reached to up to 75 degrees. It's less than 10 minutes. And I think, and at the table of the minimum time required for warm up the things is from 3 to 10 minutes is the average.
See?
Thank you.
Thank you. It's really good.
Any other question or contribution?
All right. If no one has any more questions, yes, we can move on. Thank you so much. And next we have Olotuyin or Demeni. I hope I said that right. And he will be talking about the implementation of AI in estimating construction projects. Over to you, Olu.
Okay. Good day, everyone. I'm here to talk about the implementation of AI in estimation construction projects. One, I will need to start by the construction industry, especially for small business facing a numerous challenge in accurate cost estimation and project management. Traditional method that they adopt is time-consuming, error, and difficulty to scale. The research we aim to develop an AI model integrated into the WordPress platform, providing construction business with a plugin that can automate and simplify cost estimation in the process. By this, I will need to move to my introduction aspects of the research, which the introduction that said about the cost is one of the critical factors influencing the successful of a construction project, especially small business often struggle with the complexity and time demand of traditional high costs. The time to get their quotes and the estimation used to affect the smaller construction company projects. That's why I'm now implementing this AI, introducing it to the plugin for the estimation of costs of all projects. By this, I will go to my literature review. The objectives of the study. The objectives of the study is to develop a scalable and user-friendly platform for instant quoting. So that this means that a friendly user platform that everybody will be able to use to access. And the second one is to leverage AI technology like machine learning and natural language process for accurate costing. That means it will be used to all languages. We can switch to different languages by leveraging so that the language process will be accurate and prediction. And the third one is to analyze market potential and adoption strategy for the platform so that they can get the accurate cost of the accurate projects. It will not be more and it will not be lesser. That's just this. By this, I will talk about the literature review. That means the critical and comprehensive survey, the literature review. One of it is improvement efficiency and reduce error. That's one. And the second one is reducing the time and effort needed for the budgets. That's the critical and comprehensive survey of the research, which is the literature review. And in furthermore, I will go forward to talk about the machine learning, the cost estimation. The machine learning is a cost subset of AI that revolutionizes the cost estimation by enabling the system learn from historical data. That means to say it helps us to learn from the data that we collected from the markets and the data that the user they put in. That's why we say that the WordPress is a widely used content management system, offering a flexible platform for developing custom plugin. By this, I will move forward to talk about the methodology. I have 4 methodology. One methodology is the systematic approach of the research, which is methodology. We have 1, model developments. 2, I have my WordPress plugin developments, and the 3, testing and evaluation, and the last one, the user feedback. I will talk about the model plugin. A machine learning model will be trained using historical data on the construction project to predict cost based on the inputs such as project size, material, and labor. That's about the model development. I'll talk about the WordPress plugin in development. The WordPress plugin is a custom plugin we integrating the AI model. The plugin will allow users to input the project data and easy to use the interface and receive the instant quoting. Example, if you want to build a 3-bedroom flat, as you just enter the 3-bedroom flat, it will be able to give you the the plugin will allow you to input the project and the data very easy. From there, you can get your quoting, the price, and everything. That was the WordPress plugin, the project. And the third one is the testing and evaluation. The plugin will be tested with real-world data from small construction business to evaluate accuracy, usability, and impact on the time saving. It will help us in the time saving. And the last one, which is the user feedback. The user feedback will be tested. The feedback will be collected from the small construction business to refine the plugin and ensure in meeting their needs. That's the user feedback. By then, I will now move forward to the strategic planning tools. The strategic planning tools, which is the SWOT analysis. The strategic planning is planning to the SWOT analysis, where I have strength, we have weakness, I have opportunity, and I have strengths. I would like to talk about the strengths. In strengths, we have the increase in the efficiency, we have the improved accuracy, and we have accessibility. Under the strength, increased efficiency, the AI model can significantly reduce the time required for estimate. That's under the increase in efficiency and improving accuracy. By leveraging historical data, the model can provide accurate and reliable cost estimation. By then, I'll move to the weakness. I'm going to move to the weakness. The weakness, which is the opposite of strengths. Under the weakness, we have data dependency. Data dependency is the model accuracy rely on the quality and quantity of historical data available. For small business, we have a limit data affecting the model performance. That's under the weakness. And under this, I still have another one, the technical barrier. When I talk about the technical barrier, this is WordPress user-friendly, integrating an AI plugin still poses challenges for non-technical user. In the process whereby non-technical user will not be able to use the plugin. That's what I refer to about the technical barrier. Another one is the opportunity. The opportunity, we have the market expansion. Under this market expansion, AI become more mainstream in the construction. There is a growing opportunity to create a small business. That means the market expansion. Under the opportunity, we have scalability. The scalability, the model can be adopted for large construction projects or other sector in the future. And the last one, the opposite of the opportunity, which is threat. I have competition and rapid technology change. Competition and rapid technology change. The competition, a large firm may be eventually adopt a similar AI solution, making challenging for the plugin in maintaining a competitive edge. That's about the competition. And the next one now, I will now move I will move to the mode of data collection. The mode of data collection. We have the source data collection. I have historical project data, market database, and user feedback. Under the historical project data, we collect data from the public or any small construction company that they are looking for the quoting. Instead of using the manual method, we collect data from them and we input it into the plugin. That one will give us the accurate estimation for the project. Under the market database, before the software can be work accurately, we need to get the accurate market price of all the materials that will be updated in the software plugin. And another one is the user feedback. We need to be receiving the feedback from the user, the advantage and disadvantage, so that the software can be maintained. I will move on again to Under this, I have my, after data collection, I'll move to use this user interface. User interface. Under the user interface, there will be a design principle. Design principle and easy of user interaction layout. User of under the design principle, there will be the plugin user interface is a critical adoption. The design, there will be a design, a flow chart that's going to go from product via authentication, login, and down. That's how the user interface is going to be. And from there, we have easy user, we have accessibility, we have input form from the project certification, we have real-time cost estimation updates, and we have interactive dashboard to visualize cost breakdown, testing. And the last one, we have the testing of conduct, usability testing with small construction business owner to refine the interface. On the other hand, I have another one. We have the delivery method. The delivery method of the research. The delivery method, we have the market channel, we have the WordPress marketplace and the construction forum. And we have the email campaigning targeting small business and user education. And we have is host webinar to demonstrate the plugin feature. Under the markets channel, we advertise the software by the distribution of the questionnaire, the questionnaire to get the feedback, how people have maybe they hear about the AI, using AI in a construction company for estimates. We do that. And the WordPress marketplace construction forum, we do that on WordPress. We will log in. We create a platform on the WordPress, the software to be logged in. And another one, user education. We educate people on how to use this software in the long run. And the conclusion, the integration of the AI into the small construction business can help democratize access to technology and improve efficiency. In the long run, it improves the efficiency of the cost estimation and the work. That's it, sir. Any questions, sir?
Like always, if I may ask a question, very interesting presentation, Olutoyin. And I saw your plugin, it was just impressive. I can't describe it the way it deserves to be described. But back to your presentation, where you mentioned that this AI platform is able to get the market trends, is able to retrieve historical data using an API that is embedded in a WordPress platform. I'm not quite familiar with the API systems. Is it something like, just from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, is it a kind of connection between two servers that they communicate, and like your WordPress plugin is going to retrieve data from, let's say, Alibaba or Amazon.com or any other local suppliers, and based on that, it would create a market trend?
Okay. Okay, the WordPress plugin is going to only design for the estimation. Design for the estimation. You can only get it for estimating of construction projects.
Yeah, I was just curious to know how the API works. I'm not familiar with API. If you can explain a bit more about what is an API, it would be appreciated.
Come again, sir.
An API, as you mentioned, compatibility with WordPress through an API. I was just curious, what is an API?
Okay, the compatibilities that a software is going to design, which I'm currently working on it. Under the software is going to be used for all the country, the naira, the pounds, the dollar, so that everybody can be used anywhere. And the software will now be installed on the plugin. That's what will be used for the estimation. That's the
If I may,
compatibility.
if I may come in here, yeah. So I think in order to have an historical data from your presentation, we assume that you are building a technology to solve for manual quoting. So if you have small construction business, they are doing manual quoting, and you're going to make a reference of historical data. Somehow that won't be feasible because everything is manual. They don't have any compute system that is hosting the quoting that they are doing. So, and neither you'll be able to also go to
Oh,
all
sorry,
the,
Emmanuel, but I guess there
yeah.
are some websites that have these data, like online stores. So, for example, in Australia, we have Bunnings, if I'm right, Sofian. Um, it's like a really large supermarket that sells building products, even online. And it's only specializing mainly in building products. So if Olutoin's WordPress plugin is able to capture those data, it can be somehow relevant to just the material part of the things. But like, yeah, as you mentioned, everything is done manually as a small construction business. Yeah, the labor cost is a challenge because business to business, it really varies.
Yeah, so I wanted to arrive at saying that if there is a consolidated system or a large market that literally do, for instance, there may be a POS that keeps records of all the sales made. And at the end of the day, it's all being itemized, the component that you have. So there may be a sort of database or a system that is hosting the quotations, or even if it is manual. Now with the API, with the plugins, it can be developed. So all that you need to do is to develop I mean, you have to put in a lot of work, because at the end of the day, you're going to integrate it and feed it into the WordPress system. But there isn't a plugin in WordPress that is developed specifically to allow an integration to the system if they are also not subscribing to the same plugin. It means that your plugin there, you need to have a private plugins or an API developed in order to intentionally integrate it with the large market and feed it into your system or integrate it with your system. If not that, then if manual is being done in books, papers, then it's very hard or difficult for you to get historical data. You rather have to start afresh by starting from small, by allowing them to start using it. As he mentioned about training them. So you train your client how to use the tool, and then gradually you start getting the large data. So the AI model here would be LLM. That's large logical language, which you're going to use it to now understand the kind of data that you have. And then you grow that data. And as you grow that data, now you start now making a decision on that. If with a machine learning using a decision tree, then you're now able to get your flow chart, deciding on how they're going to get the data. But if your historical data is done on paper or record books somewhere stored in the shelves, it will be difficult for you to now go into each and then collect that data and intentionally punch into the system. It's going to be a lot of work. But rather, you need to give them a prototype or something for them to start working so that you can start feeding into the system. And then you know that you have data. Right. So our end here is a bit dicey.
This might
Any
sound
other question?
really silly because obviously I don't know much about like the analytics and stuff. But I was going to say with what you were saying, Emmanuel, about like if you didn't have the actual data and then you'd have to like punch in old stuff, is there a potential way to take, for example, one example that's actually been done and then have AI like take that and kind of formulate things similar to kind of like replicate or like mirror what would actually like real data? Would that be bad to do that, or like could you do something like that, for example, where
That would that may not give you an accurate data, because if you take one, the AI is going to give you some isolation data, because it may do some hallucination, like an assumption, thinking maybe like you pick, let's say, the size of let's say a block, and it's about 5 inches, and you're going to work on another project that require about hollow blocks, and it's 6 inches block. You have the AI doesn't have that data unless it's being integrated into an existing construction database or system that has that data. If it has that data, then that is easy for the AI to learn. So the AI is about the data, what the large data that you have fed into it. For instance, now Google has every data. Google has every data. So Facebook can feed onto Google. You know, for instance, Microsoft, Apple, they all pay Google for data. And if you do a research on that, you realize that they all pay Google for data, because all the queries, searching for people, searching for solutions, and trying to get answers from Google. Google is storing all that raw data. So Google has every data to give you a response. But at the point where you don't, you put in some strings of information onto Google and there's no data, Google won't give you a response to that. And I believe you all know that. If I put in some raw numbers or some different strings with some
frozen?
large data, that can give you that responses. So you must make sure that you allow, you give access to your client to start feeding into the system, and then you grow your data. Once you grow your data, then you now start getting the accuracy of the responses when the query from the AI.
So you could essentially like, I guess, do like if what you're saying, it has to be like based on something, obviously not just one example, but if you say like you could gather like 100, then would that sort of just like would that be a good base to like start it off? Or like for him, for Ollerton, if he wanted to like how many do you think he would need, like example wise, in order for it to be accurate? Like
Yeah. Even if you can bring it down to like when you give birth to a new baby, that is how AI is. You know, when you say that go, and then your baby learn to go. Now you need to teach your baby how to come. If you want to train your baby how to eat, you need to teach your baby how to wash his hands and that. And from there, your baby learn to understand a lot of things. That is how AI is. So the AI need to be trained. If you don't train it, it will give you an hallucination. It will just give you any data. Try to copy someone data and then give it to you. And that might not be the kind of data that you're working on. So you may only have a template or an idea to look on. But if you want your accurate data, your own data that has been collectively gathered from your customers or your client side, then you have to allow them to start feeding in the data. And from there, you'll be able to analyze those data when you are making the quotation. So you are making the quotation, the moment you enter, because the AI learns that these materials have already been fed into the system, and it can able to give you the rough estimate that you're looking for.
I understand. Well, thank you, Manuel, and obviously Olutin for that wonderful presentation. I think it's really cool. So yeah, really interested on that one. All right, so let me just open this one. Up next, we have Tanaya Chifumuro, and she will be talking about automatic sorting machine for construction and demolition waste recycling. Over to you, Tanya.
Well, thank you for the time to present my project. Let me try to share my screen. Can you guys all see my screen? Okay, thank you. Okay, my focus is on developing an automatic sorting machine for construction and demolition waste cycle. Due to the rapid development of engineering, construction, and housing industry, the output of construction waste is increasing at a very high speed, and the proportion to challenges such as insufficient data for model training and limited interpretability of AI models continue to persist. One of the biggest generators of solid waste globally comes from the construction industry. Construction and demolition waste are defined as the excess material generated during construction and demolition processes. And the examples, they include concrete, bricks, steel, glass, wood, plastics, rubble, etc. And the construction and demolition waste, they account for about 25% to 30% of the total waste generated worldwide. And in Australia, it has been noted that it accounts for about 44%. In a brief period of time, I'll explain the following topics and the rationale for why this research is important. Here, we considered a novel approach that promises to enhance, firstly, the waste management challenges, as it has been found that the manual sorting methods, which are often inefficient, labor-intensive, and costly, they lead to inadequate waste separation. So by having this automatic sorting machine, we'll be able to elude all the waste management challenges. Secondly, the environmental impacts. The construction and the demolition waste, they have significant environmental impacts. For example, they cause land degradation, groundwater contamination, land and air pollution, and also the greenhouse gas emissions, which contribute to climate change. So by having this automatic sorting machine, we'll be able to eradicate all the environmental impacts. And thirdly, we have the economical benefits that are brought by this automatic sorting machine. It will be able to increase the recycling rates, it will reduce the disposal costs, and also it will be able to generate revenue from recovering valuable materials. Due to the lack of disposal sites and the limitation of natural resources, the construction and the demolition waste has attracted considerable attention. Here on this pie chart, we have the average composition of the construction and the demolition waste, with 30% of wood, which comes as the which comes as extra material, 5% plastics, 26% we have concrete and bricks, 10% metal, 13% from roofing, 13% also, these include limestones, gravel, sandstone, and 3% cardboard or paper. This research's aim was to convey the importance of developing an automatic sorting machine for construction and demolition waste. Consequently, using the artificial intelligence in waste logistics, we can be able to reduce the transportation distance by up to 36.8%, cost savings by up to 13.35%, and we can save time by up to 28.22%. And also by having this automatic sorting machine, we'll be able to reduce the landfill waste and stop the waste treatment processes, which is called incinerating, which contributes to air pollution by producing flue gas emissions. And also we can reduce the piling up of our waste on our natural resources. The objectives of this project are to develop an efficient and an accurate automatic sorting system for construction and the demolition waste, and also will be able to improve the waste management in construction industry. The most important is to introduce the on-site recycling, as it has been found that it is very extreme difficult to do the recycling on-site. And we'll be able also to reduce our waste disposal costs and conserve our resources, and also we'll be able to reduce intense human labor. To ensure the validity and the reliability of our numerical work, we will carefully consider the best AI tool, which is as it has been found that the machine learning models, they primarily operate with numerical data. While for the construction and the demolition waste, which generally involves the construction type, the project size, the location and also the disposal methods and the disposal regulations. So here we have found that the construction waste recycling technology is still in its infancy. So by developing a software, an AI that will be able to eradicate these problems, and we'll be able to have data for waste management. And secondly, here we have the robots in our device. The robots will work hand in hand with the AI or the software, and the robots will perform physical tasks. So the AI will be the brain of this device, the robots will be the muscles, and thirdly, the material type. The construction and the demolition waste have varied 3D shapes, which makes it hard for robot manipulations. And as of the past decades, the present automatic sorting machine, they are able to only grasp only 2D shapes. But here we'll develop an automatic sorting machine that will be able to grasp both 2D and 3D shapes. The block diagram for our automatic sorting machine will involve a conveyor run. This one will involve the light-duty conveyor belt with a 12 VDC motor and rollers and belts. And the main sensors that we're going to use here are the infrared sensors, which are going to sense objects. These ones, they work by emitting light, which encounters an object, as you can see here. The sensor then measures the intensity and the characteristics of the reflected light to determine the presence and sometimes the distance of the reflected object. So once this IR senses an object, it then moves it to the magnets. The magnet will create a magnetic field to attract all the metallic waste from the construction and the demolition activities. And the remaining waste is going to be taken to the hopper. This one will take all the non-metals like the concrete, the plastics, the bricks, and then they are going to be grouped in group 2 as the non-metals, and we have group 1 as the metals. So the overall process here, we have the multi-sensory unit, the processing unit with the AI, the learning-based action task, and also our robot controller. The expected results here, we expect to have digitalization in the construction industry, and most importantly, to have the innovative 3D localization techniques, and also to reduce the waste management costs. In summary, the implementation of an automatic sorting machine for construction and demolition waste cycle management will contribute to the reduction of pollution factors and also mitigate the climate change challenges. Here are the references that I use. Thank you for your attention. I'll open the platform for questions or any contributions. Thank you.
It's
just
me,
wanna say-
sorry. Can I? Do you want to contribute or have a question, Sophia? I'll go after you.
I was just going to say it's so good because you're right with how much, like, even just I noticed like how much just gets thrown away that could definitely be reused or recycled. So it's such a necessary thing. I was just wondering, have you already started like with these robots, like and making these sorting machines, and have you already started doing?
As of recent, I haven't started. I was only working on the literature review and the background analysis. I haven't started working on the robots, but I'm just working on learning the AI softwares and the best AI software. So I'm studying the best AI software like the Sidewinder, the Build Start, and also the HiCard.
Cool. All right. It's really good.
Thank you.
So it's a huge industry, like Sofian said, Tanya, here, especially in Australia. It's a big challenge, and I think there's big money being invested in this industry. There's a large company called Bingo in Australia doing construction and demolition waste recycling, but it's all being done manual. And you can't just imagine what's the staff turnover is look like. But backing to your presentation, about 26% of concrete of the C&D waste is concrete and 30% is wood. Well, it depends on the reference and the location, obviously, but as just a bit of a contribution, I think if we neglect other components of the waste and just focused on concrete and wood, it would cover 56% of the waste, which is pretty huge again. So that's one contribution. Another question I had actually was that, are these sensors capable of determining or understanding the density of the material? I mean, imagine there's a sensor on a conveyor. How does that infrared sensor is going to distinguish whether that object in front of it is a concrete or is a wood? Like what are the, yeah.
Okay, as for the infrared sensor, it only detects an object. It is unable to detect whether it's concrete or wood. That's why we will have the magnets that will be able to attract all the metallic waste. And also, I was thinking of the induction sensor, but this one, it is a little bit costly and it requires electricity.
What is an induction sensor?
This one, I didn't include it, but I just came across it when I was doing my research. This one, as I mentioned, it requires electricity, and also it will be able to separate metals and non-metals. That is main aim, to separate metals and non-metals from the waste.
There was a research topic. It's really relevant to what I've done during my PhD studies. That's why I'm really interested in your topic. There There was a paper talking about having cameras and object detection algorithms to distinguish between each waste particle. But the problem that paper came up with was that sometimes, because it's waste, most of the time the color is the same. But if the material was new, well, the camera would be able to detect, I mean, distinguish between the color of a concrete and the color of a wood. So yeah, maybe camera and object detection can be something that you can go ahead with as well. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, thank you. Over to you, Sophia.
Thank you, Tania. All right, so up next we have Franklin Nusu, and he'll be talking about AI integration in estimating construction projects. Over to you, Franklin.
Okay, hello guys. Can you guys hear me? All right, I'm going to be sharing my screen with you guys. All right. Can you all see the screen? Okay, today I'm going to be presenting AI for instant quoting, helping small scale construction business. And this is a strategy to innovation and efficiency. Just like my brother Olutoyin spoke on also this same project. So first of all, I'm going to start with the introduction, the importance of cost estimation. This is critical for budgeting, project planning, and client satisfaction. So basically, construction industry is an essential to the development of every country. You understand, and in economically and other aspects of a country. So innovating and optimizing
Sorry,
the
Franklin.
construction.
If
Yeah.
you're trying to share your screen, we can't see it.
Ah, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, can you see it now? Hold on. Okay. Can you guys see the screen now? All right. So for 1 minute. All right. For introduction, importance of cost estimation and is critical for budgeting, like I said earlier, and project planning and client satisfaction. And also challenges for small businesses in construction, limited resources, and the manual quoting method and time constraint, because most construction businesses would rather prefer using more of their time in being productive and actually doing their construction work than spending a lot of time in the quoting and giving the quote for creating a quote for a customer, like I said. Because for me, I've had let's say more than 5 years experience in construction industry, carpentry to be precise. So one of the challenges the company I worked for back then was one of the difficult part is quoting for customers, because most of the time you make a quote and it's either above the cost, or when the risky part is the quoting being like below the cost of the project. For example, you make a quote, or you're making a construction of, let's say, $1,000, and you made a mistake of putting below, underquoting the project. Then actualizing the project is now a difficult task, because you don't go back to a customer and telling them that, okay, I made a mistake. I was supposed to tell you the price is this. Then now I made a mistake. We have to increase the price again. Then it's likely that the project will be withdrawn from the business, which is a really big problem. And then now the role of AI, it automates quoting. Now here is where we're going to use the AI to automate quoting, enhances accuracy, reduce human error, and save time for small businesses in construction. So the next one, research objectives. Here are the research objectives, like what we are researching, what we want to achieve in this research is to analyze challenges, like to identify the inefficiency in current cost estimation practices. Then develop framework, create an AI-powered system tailored for small businesses. This is specifically for small businesses, not like the bigger construction business. At least we start from the smaller business where we can manage all the, like, you can easily get most of the data. You understand? And assess impact, measure improvements in quoting speed, accuracy, and business growth. So the next one is the research question, the question that we have to, while we are doing this AI for instant quoting, the question we need to ask is, do business currently perform cost estimation? Which AI are best suited for instant quoting? Because like we all know, we have different AI that we need to choose the perfect one for this project. And what are existing, what are the exits for adopting AI, and how can they be addressed? And this basically the question that this research question is basically like the SWOT analysis, or basically like the strengths, the weakness, the opportunity, and the threats that we are going to face during this project, and we have to maximize and use all the whole possible means to achieve it using SWOT analysis. So the next one is the literature review. Growing AI used in construction, project management, material optimization, inefficiency in traditional quoting methods, benefits, speed, accuracy, competitiveness. Then the last one is challenges, data quality, cost, resistant to change. You understand? These are our literature review highlights, what we'll be looking into. Then the next one is implementation and testing, the way we're going to implement and how we're going to go about the whole project, developing and training AI algorithms, just like Mr. Emmanuel said. AI is something you have to train it like a kid. We're going to develop an AI and train it based on the algorithm, the prices of the materials, the whole project. You understand? And also testing for accuracy and reliability, and also continuous optimization. And not just creating it, we have to continue to optimize it, to improve it, so that it will be much easier and effective and more accurate for the small construction businesses. So the next one is the recommendations, like invest in AI training for the employee, just like Mr. Olutoyin said. We invest in training for the employees. The small business, construction business owners can train their employees, not specifically all the employees, but the employees in charge of the quoting, essentially in quoting department of a small construction business, and start a hybrid system of manual and AI to cross-check the result of the AI. So we also have to do like a type of a manual just for the first instance to get and to make sure that the AI is working according to what is being tasked to do. So gradually scale AI capability, like from manual and combining the manual, the hybrid, the manual and the AI together. Then gradually we upscale it while we are getting confident with the work of the AI. We scale the capability. So the future research direction, like this research, the future, like what where I envision the research to go towards is enhancing models with real-time market data, like getting the data from the real-time. Like obviously, Google has most of the data like on the web, and also integrating it into the AI, and also make like training the AI also and getting all the data intact, and integration with project management too, because there are a lot of project management tools like many companies use to manage their projects. So we have to integrate it with the project management to get everything in order and accurate. And scaling solutions for medium-sized business. So initially, we have to start with the small business. So we can be able to manage the little data we can get from the small business. Then for the future, when we are now perfect with the small scale for the small scale business, you can move to the medium sized business. You understand? Then when we after moving like we can also move to the large size business for this whole project, for this whole research, to optimize and like imagine what we can do in the future. And like I always said, like the sky is the limit, what you can achieve with AI. So the next one is my conclusion is AI-powered quoting is a game changer for small construction firms, not just for small construction firms, for large construction firms. When we have perfected our AI app for the small construction firms, then we can upscale it to other like to large and medium construction firms. So offers improved accuracy, speed, and competitiveness. This AI is going to bring like accuracy for small scale business for small scale businesses that use it. Like imagine like a customer that requires like a quote for a project that he wants to build, like a house. He wants to build a house. He needs a quote for the cost of everything that is, how much is going to cost to build a house. And a small scale business is like able to come up with the quote within a split of seconds of inputting the data like required from the customer. You understand? So coming up with the price and it's accurate and given to the customer will be relieved, because most of the time, most people they have money or they are not sure if it's enough to build up this the project that we want. So talking with the construction companies and the construction companies coming up with the price, the exact price and the quoting of the whole project is going to be a huge relief for the client, and also a good impact for the small construction business to come up with the quoting in split of seconds. So for this project, Icon Smart can lead the way in training and supporting the AI for instant quoting. And with Icon Smart, I think it's something that we can achieve, and which is variable, like we can achieve it with Icon Smart. So this is where I'm going to end the whole presentation, and thank you for your audience and time. And also, for more detailed in this presentation, I have a dissertation. Mr. Farid can share the presentation with the team for the dissertation. My dissertation to get a more detailed insight of what I'm talking about. So please, if there's any questions, please do not hesitate to ask. Is there any question?
Thank you, sir. Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. I don't have a question, but I kind of started thinking about like, because yours is quite, it's almost a little bit like similar with what we were talking about before. And I thought what would be really cool is if so with smaller businesses, I know that like, for example, what they do as well, they're pretty well versed in it. I would say that like if they're doing a project, they've kind of learned through trial and error what might happen and potentialities. But what could also maybe be a good marketing point is that to appeal to people who like what you were saying, want projects done. So say I'm just a mum that has a house and I know I want this thing done, but I don't want to get messed around with my money. So having some kind of app that I could say, this is what I want done, so that I could input that data and it gives me like that rough estimate so that I make an informed, choice who I'd go with, because then if I know if someone's maybe overpricing what the service actually want. And also what could be quite cool is having some kind of like, you'd have to probably start in one area, like you wouldn't be able to do it everywhere all at once, but having local, like what we were saying with Bunnings, like which is in Australia, it's the biggest place, so like the most, I'd say, used shop for like materials. Like if they had some kind of deal, for example, through, if you have the app and you get an estimate using their materials, you know what I mean? So that you get some kind of discount. That would be really cool as well. So then, and then some kind of guarantee. So you've got all the receipts on the app and everything that sort of says, I've got this quote and this is how long it should last. And then that way it's always there. So you don't lose any of that, like later down the line, do you know what I mean? So if a panel breaks or a tile breaks, I've got everything on there. So I don't know, I feel like maybe that's kind of it could be quite a cool way to appeal more to like masses in that sense of, because I know that a lot of business owners are like smaller guys. I know what they're like as well. Like mentally, they're like, I've got my way of doing things and that's it, and it's kind of that narrow sense, and they know what they're doing, and sometimes they'll even overcharge a bit so they can keep materials, but I don't know, it's just a cool way to like maybe target it actually more at people that have no idea, just to help them. I think that could be really cool.
Yeah, I think there's another like another type of market area we can channel, another type of target audience for this app. Like customers also can be able to use the app. We can make it like customer friendly also, because most of the time, because in construction businesses, like most of the contractors, most of them are fraudulent, and they, like you said, they always overprice you and to take the materials and sell the materials or use it for other projects. You understand? So I think the app, if we can make it like a customer friendly app whereby, for example, you want to make a new kitchen, change the kitchen in your house. So in the app, there are like options like, okay, kitchen option, kitchen cabinet options. like you take a measurement of the space you have in your kitchen. Then with that inputted in the AI, then with that it shows you different types of kitchen where you can choose color. I think this is most architectures they use this kind of. There's already an app for it. They use
Even
it,
a picture like Pinterest, so you could use like
yeah,
so to show the computer or the AI what it is that you're
yeah,
thinking.
like yeah, something like that. Yeah, what you want, or you can easily choose like they show you like with the shape of your kitchen. The AI can develop a model of kitchen. Then you can choose with exact measurement it requires for the cutting of the kitchen cabinet and the coloring, and then also the if it's possible for like we can get data from the big construction markets where they sell like the materials. So it's going to be like something like let's say AliExpress, whereby they put like the big construction markets, they include their prices of the materials from the nails, the working tools, the board, MDF board, MDF board for construction, everything required to make the kitchen. The prices are going to be listed, and with the AI is going to like from the prices already listed for in the AI app, the AI can automatically create a plan, a budget for you, a quote for you for the project that you want to do. I think it's really a good idea to also integrate customers in using the AI, not just for the construction. So in the terms when you are speaking with a contractor, you can tell them, okay, you just look at what the app is saying, and like, okay, this is the cost, and both of you can be on the same page, can understand can be understand, we can understand each other, like, okay, this is what you want, and this is we can explain to you, okay, if there are some varieties of changes, because during construction there are some like after measurement, taking everything you want when we are in on field, like trying to install, like let's say kitchen, there's some varieties of inconveniences like that can come up, that will require some changes. It can happen. So with that, maybe instead of adding like a huge more amount into the quoting, you can, okay, let's say for example, because for me, I've made a budget for like customers. I've like for example, what I normally do is that to avoid underquoting like a project, I can just like, okay, if the project is cost $1,000, I can make the project. I can say, okay, I'm going to make the quoting 1,200 or 1,500, just in case if there is an underquoting. And also there are like variety of price changes here and there. Sometimes the price always increase because of maybe let's say dollar rates changing, increasing or decreasing. So with the material, like in a country like let's say Australia, the material, the company that sells the material, with them imputing the cost of material, like updating it while it increases, would actually help a lot for the app to like actualize what it's really meant to do. So I think that's it. So any more questions?
Yeah, I think I'm also interested in the kitchen. So isn't it better to do to go, for instance, in Ghana, a lot of people or clients like to have pre-installed kitchen than a contractor going to the site and taking measurement and then estimating what the material costs. So for the pre-installed kitchen, when I go to the showroom of the manufacturer, there's already an existing materials that they have. So when you come to the site and you do the survey, you put it into some kind of visual diagram, then indicating the sizes and all the connections and the corners and how I want my kitchen. And then when I come to your showroom, you already have pre-installed ones. So you just give me the accurate pricing of what you have. And then I pay straight away. Because in other sense, if you're looking into a sales perspective, if it costs me 1,000, if I mean it's $1,000 and you are charging me $1,200, the next day or on the second thought, this same client may make another consultation from different manufacturers, and for some reason, your pricing may be somehow maybe higher than the other. Especially if I have pre-installed kitchen and I'm going to charge you for $800, and you are charging me $1,200 for overestimate because for contingency sake.
Inconveniences.
Yeah. So for that matter, I think that's the reason why you are building an AI or developing an AI for cost estimation in terms of accuracy. However, I think if you are taking the AI out of context, having a pre-installed, developed not to have it physical, but developing it in the visual based on the past experience helps in better costing or budgeting than estimating individual costs as a first start from companies for clients. Sorry.
Okay. Like the thing is that one thing about the like already made kitchens that are in showrooms where you can go, you see the kitchen and you like it and you take it. So the major problem there is like the size of the kitchen. So for example, now you have like a 4 square like a little small kitchen like in your house, and you go to a showrooms. Okay, obviously there are different sizes, but then bringing the kitchen or buying the kitchen and installing it will require like cutting and readjusting, which is a total like which is a big problem. This is not it's not like let's say so for sofas now, you take a measurement of your sitting room, then you get a sofa that match to the sitting room. And you don't cut the sofas. For kitchen, it's different. And most of the time, this AI is for the one you're talking about is for the ones that do the showrooms and the show cabinet of the kitchen in their showroom are like the bigger companies. You understand? So they have the money, they have the capability of producing different kitchen and installing them in the showroom for customer. And also, like I did my work in Cyprus. I learned my carpentry and everything in Cyprus. It's always when the customers come to the showroom, they show him the different kitchens in the showroom, and they don't actually take the kitchen in the showroom to the customer's place. They show him the kitchen. If he likes the way the color of the cabinets, the color of the woods, everything, then they replicate the type of kitchen with new projects in the house with the calculation of the kitchen size and everything. You understand? So where AI helps is that it helps the cost the like the small scale business don't have the enough capacity to build the showroom, because now when I tried starting my own freelance consultant in Cyprus, it was really difficult because now you come to like a customer comes to you and tell you, okay, I have 8 apartments and I want kitchen installed and wardrobes installed in the kitchen everywhere. So instead of you take, of course, you take the measurement, then you estimate like the materials, then you need cost, and all this kind of data you do takes a lot of time because you have to budget everything within everything. It takes time, and with this AI, you make it like, okay, how many days you want the work to be done, and how many workers will be needed to achieve it within that day. You understand? This is like how we want to integrate the AI into it.
Yeah, I don't. I think we all speaking the same language. So I was saying that for a small construction business, if of having a showroom where physically you can have pre-installed kitchen and then you select and then you already know the budget involved, you can build your as a simulation in a visual, like a diagram indicating the dimension of an existing project that you've already executed. So if I take a new measurement of the new client, because I already have an existing estimation that is being done, I'll present the same design onto visual, for instance, and then I'll be able to know sort of cost for it. The only differences that may impact the cost is when the market material cost has increased, or there must be some changes in the pricing and all that. But then if I know that this one should cost 2,000, and because for some reason there may be some delay of the project, so I'm charging you extra $200. And that is why I'm saying that if the same small construction business, the client decide to make another inquiry from different manufacturer or vendor, and it's costing me $1,000 and you're charging me $1,200, I may go for the $1,000. I may ignore the 1,200. And as a matter of fact, if you make profit of the 1,200, I don't think you're gonna give me my $200 back. You keep it. Yeah. So somehow, in terms of professionalism and being honesty and then ethicals in the constructions, for me, I think it's better to have the proper dimension and the simulation done in knowing the cost, and you already know your supplier. You already have price list from your supplier, so that you know that how much it costs. And then if I'm selling it to you, then I know that okay, it costs $2,000 for the materials, for workmanship or labor. It's going to cost you like $200. And then I know that in terms of sales perspective, if I'm reducing cost, yes.
Sorry, very quickly. I just have to. It's just been quite a while, and I have to pass it on to Bogdan. But we can come back, like maybe just after. But like, thank you. It's super interesting. I just want to make sure that he gets his time too. That's all.
Okay,
yeah,
no problem.
that's fine.
Just I would like to add some comments maybe after it. I'd like to
Yeah, we can talk after.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Over to Bogdan, and he will be talking about his new building block. Over to you.
Hello, everyone. This is my little new building block. And I hope artificial intelligence does help making this and selling this. So it's good to hear all those presentations so far. I like to see if I can share something with you. Okay, this. Can you guys see my image?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, this is a new building block invented by myself, and I. It's patented block, and I have a partner on this where I'm the inventor, but she's a support in everything else. Now, I will hold also this block and show you. What it is, it's a new building block that actually is scientific solution for construction, future construction of homes and buildings, mainly domestic, but we can easily use it in a commercial and industrial sector. So why is it that this block is different and better than others? I will turn it around so you can all see in 3D. This is scaled down to 10:1 from original version. So this is exactly the right shape of it, which has a large central hall in the center, which is instant duct when they're lined up. So we don't need ducts to build the homes or to put in the roof or for heating and cooling. So once we line up these blocks in the walls, we will have everything, vents, blocks for absolutely every little, what is the purpose, application. So on the side, we have smaller holes where we run cables and plumbing pipes. And we have vertical vents, which are also vents, and also channels where we run the same cables and plumbing pipes. 1 inch pipe can easily fit through all those, which means 3/4 and 1/2 inch goes quite easily. So they intercept going vertically and horizontally, they intercept, so which allows us, so when we run the cabling or pipes, we can easily just cut the little section and connect them and then block up, patch up that section. So benefits of this block, it's saving wood. This will replace usage of wood completely in construction, future of construction, in my opinion. The reason being is that we don't even need you to use wood for roof structure. Where I suggest primarily to use flat roofs, which are precasted elements. And I have one of these guys here. Take a very good look. So once we develop the wall to a certain height, then we just place this already precasted, pre-made, and we join with the other one. That. All we have to do is internally fix one joint, and on the upper section, upper floor, fix one joint or two joints, depending how many sections we use to complete the ceiling, instant flooring, or the roof at the same time as well, if we're using a flat roof. So this building block eliminates wood from construction completely. The block is 441 millimeters wide, proposed in real version, and it's 882 long. So it's a quite heavy and big block, right? It replaces around 36 bricks if we divide on two walls. If you can imagine, one half brick wall, another half brick wall, and so a gap in between. That gives us this side, and that fights 36 bricks roughly, which is huge. And when we're constructing walls, it's much faster to install one block, which takes 2-3 minutes compared to 36 bricks. So speed of constructions will be reduced greatly. The block and walls and complete building will have beautiful ventilation, twin ventilation as I call it, which is these channels proposed for plumbing and electrical cables and piping are also used for ventilation. So this is internal side and this is external side. So we get instantly internal ventilation that goes all the way through, external ventilation as well, which is here. If cold air is coming here, hot air is coming there, the barrier will be in the middle, and that fight between hot and cold will actually benefit when it comes to energy efficiency, to insulation of homes, and saving furthermore on power bills and gas and so on. So the central hall, once we line up 2 or 3 blocks like that, right? So we line them up, we get a channel. And this is our eastern duct that we use to run duct heating or duct and cooling, with diameter for this size being 180 millimeters, right? Which is enough to run most of the units, medium size or even larger sizes for domestic use. And of course, if we need to use much larger, then we go make bigger block and with bigger central hall and still use the same application. All blocks will have the same setup, the same halls, the same design. And the main reason for that is to save on materials for construction, and which benefits environment, and to establish great ventilation of the walls horizontally and vertically, which technically first time ever, I think it gives us horizontal and vertical ventilation of the hard material walls, which nowadays only maybe vertically done, but not horizontally and intercepted everywhere, in every section of the wall, every corner of the wall. So building with these blocks, we establishing ventilation all the way from the bottom, from the foundation itself, all the way to the top, to the roof, right? So this will benefit enormously, especially when it comes to use of heating, hot and cold weather, and air conditioning and heating, right? So what's specific about this block also is the way it interlocks. If you can see here. Now, the mortar is placed right there in this section, inside, internally. Very important thing, because mortar is never in touch with external weather, and it cannot absorb moisture that easy. It cannot be even wetted if you force with a spray or high pressure gun. You can't get to the mortar at all, and that's specific to this block and walls made from them. It isolates mortar completely, which allows me to build blocks and wall without any gaps between them. In fact, the more precisely they sit, the better off we all are with it. And there's actually, that goes back to original idea where I got the idea to invent this block, which is Inca stones and ancient stones and pyramids. You all heard of pyramids, how they build precise cuts to fit precisely all the blocks and the structure. And there's a reason for that. Number one reason is there's no moisture affecting mortar. In my opinion, it's not a block that expands and dilatates, but it's a mortar that does it and then pushes brick or block away. Mortar does it. So once it's isolated, it goes right there in this channel. So on these channels, we just run a bit of silicone, if we can, and we make it completely isolated. So to me personally, and I'm sure some experts will agree with me, this is great innovation, which will benefit, if these blocks ever gets accepted, by the way, which will benefit construction industry completely. Now, this is patented block, and the number is 20222-00265. That's a patent number in Australian Patent Office. So there's complete specification in there. You can see it clearly, and the drawings that I originally applied. I made a little modification here, where we used to have a separate ventilation channel, but that's now merged all in one, which is much more simpler, easier, and better. So what benefits this block and walls constructed or buildings constructed from these blocks gives us? It's saving on wood. There's no need for internal walls the way we build houses in Australia or of US or UK and Europe. In fact, Balkan countries where I come from, most of them build from the blocks that they have, building materials that they have, and I'm not happy with those. first, they're not good enough in width, in looks, and in the purpose. So especially when they line up, put the top line of concrete in between floors, then all that is exposed and visible and looks shocking. So with these blocks, that's sorted easily, and you never see concrete exposed. No matter what you do outside, you get instant boxing around. There's elements for everything. It's all smartly calculated. But I will not go into a complete presentation. I will just introduce this block today to all of you and building industry and ICOSMET, by the way. So the benefits are we eliminating wood from construction completely. There's no need for it. The block comes pre-finished, which any finish we want or like. Even we can have them pre-painted and burn paint like a powder coated on it, whatever you want to do, we can do to these internal and external finishes. So once you line them up, you get instant finish. So you're saving, there are huge savings in construction with these blocks. So to my estimate, about 30 to 40% we can save on constructing the house, which is at least 80% better in every possible way than any house we have today on the market or in real life and in use. So basically this block is an introduction to Australia, to United States, America, United Kingdom, and any country where you build homes from timber and wood and soft materials. I suggest strongly to study this product, future product, I hope. And that is if someone accepts to build this, which is not me. I'm not looking to start factoring making building blocks. I like to just license this out, right? So as an inventor, I got about 220 inventions, and I don't have, life is too short. I can't finish all of them. So I'm giving a lot of these ideas away. But this one is personal. I like this one because it helps building industry, which I was born in. My family is originally blacksmith masters for generations. And ever since I was born, I was involved in making something, designing something, creating something. Plus 7 brothers I had. Everyone had a different trade, but constantly involved in construction all my life, which is now 61 years of age. So this is why this block is specifically dear to me, because it kind of gives out summarizing all my time wasted on construction industry, understanding it, and being involved directly in mixing concretes, making all kind of walls and structures and houses and so on. So the next advantage is we get beautiful ventilated walls, structurally strong homes which no storm, cyclone or tornado can knock down. And that's number one thing about this. The blocks are big enough, heavy enough, glued good, and strong enough to withstand even category 5 hurricane or tornado twister. To my proposition, it should never be damaged house. So you don't need shelters and bunkers underneath. Even floods, that actually walls are completely sealed, and there's no way that water can go in. And I invented also flood guides for every door and window, which are installed before the flood is approaching. So this and those flood guides can save any house, any property from the being flooded inside internally. So then we have instant ducts and cooling ducts, which is we're saving a lot of money on installing those externally. If you don't understand what that means, just pay attention how they used to heat ancient castles. They all had the tunnels where they used to have a heater in one section, and they used to run heat through the canals, which is kind of same thing, but it's different, but this is similar to that, right? This is much more advanced and modern, and I reckon we can't get any more advanced. So there is 100% good way and good chance of being successful and useful for us. Plus, it gives us instant installation. Say we're using heating. Once we run the heating in the top row or the bottom row, we're basically heating the wall as well and creating that heat barrier instantly, which helps and benefits entire energy rating when it comes to heating and cooling. Now, these blocks are proposed to be very cost effective, cheap to make, and that's where I was listening before other presenters. Artificial intelligence, robotics, and machinery, where we can easily make them and use artificial intelligence here, because it's all completed product. But say for precasted homes, artificial intelligence, in my opinion, is great for something that's completed. But market is huge, especially worldwide. There's so many different ways and different. Every company has a different products, different pricing, different this, different that. So we are early stage of artificial intelligence, and of course it's very important for the future of this world, and it's going to be based number one foundation for the future of the world. And I hope that we can create machines and robots who can make this easy, say in 10 minutes to mold it and finish it. And then we can drop price down from $300 a block, which is roughly off my head now, to handmade, but factory made would be about, say, $40 or $30 per block. And that's all we need. All we need is these blocks, foundation, these blocks, and these guys that sit as a ceiling, and the roof is instant roof. So how good is that? That's all we need. And we have a house that's absolutely strong, beautiful. Actually, I like to share another thing with you guys, which is this one. I gotta share this. Where am I? Okay, sorry about that. I can't find this. Okay, that's enough. The idea is to show you complete. I have a design which I can't, for some reason, share it with you. I have a design of the house completed, which shows you exactly what the homes look like with this. You can have internal finish instant as a block lines, but because there's no gaps, they're not wrapped. There's not so much I think in your eyes. So what we have, it's a smooth lines, good joints, and we can accept that as a, say, country homes would love that, those finishes, internal finishes, the sandstone blocks. And we can render this. We can just instantly paint on it, which paint will fill up these little gaps between the blocks. And they're so tiny, basically proposed that paint can easily fill it in. And I'm an ex-painter, so I know 100% what I'm talking about. We can just instantly put texture on it, render them, just the texture finish, and job done. Externally same thing. We can leave them as they are. They can come pre-finished with rough finishes, with texture finishes, with anything. And we get instant finish outside, which actually gives us huge savings on labor and additional applications on every property we build. So, for example, to give all variety of different finishes, say how would we use artificial intelligence in that? Well, actually, it will summarize. It will give you best option, best designs, best drawings. So you need super mind to do that, and best design for your home. But complete data about this block, it's important how you build the foundation. It's important how you propose floor plan and the roof. And that's why artificial intelligence can help in this as well so much. And that's it. Purpose of webinar and this presenting this little block. This is not full presentation. This is just introduction to you guys. Purpose is to introduce this block an opportunity that can be very important for the future of construction. These blocks can come in any size, any finish, and they can be constructed from any material we like. That's actually by the specification and claims. So, which means if you want a terracotta block, you can have terracotta. If you want concrete, you can have a concrete. You can have whichever material you want to use in. And as long as I keep the same shape, I guarantee you it's a good thing. And the thing is, when they lock in, they got specific way of locking in, easy installation, because we got beveled edges. You just place it in and the job done. If we just line up straight line, first row of the blocks, same foundation, all we do is just chuck them on, put them together, silicone goes between them, and the job done. How simple is that? I reckon the house can be built, completed in 3 days, lockup stage. That's max. So that's pretty good. And this is not just for Australia. It's patented only in Australia, but this is actually to my suggestion to the whole world to study this carefully, because it will benefit every human soul. If you make your homes from this, you will not regret that. And the purpose of this, me being here on this webinar, is to hear all of you guys presenters before, to meet you, and to cooperate and work with Icons Met, which gave me a chance to present this product. And I mean, how much more can I say about that? The precast ceilings, I believe the future of construction is actually in the precast elements and completed structures in the factories, and just put it together on the site instantly. That's what I think, and that's where artificial intelligence, for example, will help so much, selecting and planning and organizing. And we can easily program those to sub levels. It doesn't have to be global level or whichever info artificial intelligence is programmed to. So this is new. I'm not patenting this. This is gift to everyone. You can build it, but my 3D printer stuffed up that should be exposed out, not in the way I did. One edge, one is in, the other one is supposed to be out. And then when you lock them in, all you have to do is just finish the join, which is a few minutes to do. You fix, it's rebided. If you can see here, we got rebided like a cement sheet, rebites. And once all we do is place them on top of the roof, on the walls, and we just concrete all around to lock it in and fix the joints internally and externally on top. We're done. If we just gotta have flat roof, we can add some with self-leveling cement, some minor falls, and drainage, which we have a whole seal large enough to run drainage and pipes and stormwater pipes if necessary. Not stormwater, the sewer pipes. And so simple, so fast, so strong.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bogdan. Much appreciated. 61 years in construction, sweetness
Yes.
and charm of the webinar has just been concluded by your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you so
By
much.
the way, anybody interested in contacting me direct on this, please go through Icons Met first. And if not, you can contact me via email on bogdanmajkic@yahoo.com. So it's the same as my name and surname, small writing @yahoo.com. That's it. Thank you very much. Any questions?
That's so interesting, Bogdan. I also wanted to say, I don't know if you've ever heard of knotwood. Have you heard of knotwood before? They're kind of like, they work in aluminium, that when they make it look like wood. And they've got like something that I've worked with before with them, like they've got cladding panels, which are quite cool. They like got that concept of like clicking in.
Oh yeah, I know those things, yeah, but yeah, all right, go on.
Now I was gonna say it'd be quite cool if somehow that could be like, you could build that into that block so they could clip on straight away to the front, so you could get like the look, like the finish of cladding.
Well, we do get finished instant cladding because one side, external side of the block can be texture finish, wrap finish. I got it all there. When I do full presentation, everything will be presented. There's about
Okay.
16 elements that follow the block. It's just corner blocks, capping blocks, capping stone, which I have one here. Once you finish the walls and everything, this is end. If you go for flat roof in this level, so this is the finish of the block. See, the capping. There's everything is planned, organized, done. Every finish internal we can do prefabricated, and every finish internal. So there's no, once you put them together, they look like those panels and what you're saying, aluminium finishes. Real cost is material used to make it, plus profits, plus retail pricing and whatever they're gonna sell it for. But I'm not making it, so I can't put price on it. But to my estimate, my idea is to make them as cheap as possible and affordable. So anybody can buy even here. Here costs now 600 to 650,000 to build a standard house that we got now anywhere in Melbourne, in Australia, where I am. And that's a lot of money. With these blocks, I estimate roughly from 650 building that costs right now, it would cost about 350,000, including ceilings and the roof, instant roof. Now that's huge. There's almost half saving, or so it's a huge saving proposed. But now it's not up to me to say I'm an inventor of it, not a manufacturer of it. So manufacturers, they got their own tricks and way of doing. So it's up to them how much they will sell them for, how much will they spend to make them. And that's where artificial intelligence comes handy, especially, like I said, in precastings, completed projects. Artificial intelligence cannot ever go and negotiate the way I go and negotiate pricing or price with any application job. Plus, artificial intelligence can never pinpoint on every different application. There's hundreds of them that on the spot you gotta change. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. So there's a limit with what artificial intelligence can do and what not. Until we are fully automated, then yes. Which means, like you know already, other side, so shop, manufacturers, producers, and suppliers are all connected in the system, and then building can work as you guys proposing it. But that's in years to come, not now. So anyway, it should be cost effective. It should be cheap to make. Trust me. Considering how much we benefit from it and what the proposed savings to complete structure, plus benefits on safety and structural structural.
Thank you, Bogdan.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Right, guys. So I'm just going to close the meeting for today. It's been really, really interesting and I've enjoyed it a lot. So thank you for joining us for the 8th International Webinar on Construction Materials. As we close this exciting day of discussion and discovery, we reflect on the extraordinary insights shared by our speakers, the breakthrough materials unveiled, and the transformative role of artificial intelligence and automation in shaping the future of our industry. From intelligent project management tools that optimize resources and schedules to conveyor belt systems with integrated object detection, improving safety and site efficiency, today's presentations have demonstrated how technology and innovation are not only changing what we build, but how we build it. To our presenters, thank you for your knowledge, passion, and vision. To our attendees, your engagement, questions, and presence made today truly collaborative success. If you missed a session or wish to revisit, any of the presentation recordings will be made available to all registered participants in the coming days. Before we part ways, we'd like to again acknowledge the traditional custodians of the lands of which we are gathered today and pay our respects to their elders past and present. On behalf of the organising committee, thank you for being a part of this important conversation on the future of construction. Stay curious, stay connected, and we look forward to welcoming you at next year's event. Goodbye for now and take care.